Today we have voted in the Committee for Economic and Monetary Affairs on my opinion on the Due Diligence Directive. Econ Committee has hereby a shared competence when it is about financial services and the role in the Due Diligence Directive. I had presented last October my first draft report on the matter, whereby I requested to have financial services to be included in as a higher risk sector, which means that the lower thresholds should apply for financial service activities. Moreover, I have deleted the references or the limitation to the pre-contractual phase for financial services. Finally, I have included changes to the civil liability rule in order to take into account specificities of financial services. In short, my position was there should be no carve-out for any kind of financial service, but the specificities of financial services should be taken into consideration when looking at the concrete due diligence obligations and the civil liability rule. In the negotiations, it turned out that they were quite tough and difficult. In particular, the EPP Group has together with the ECR and the ID Group was very prone and open to massive lobbying from the bank and the financial service industry that wanted to have a complete carve-out. It was moreover not very helpful that the Council had decided that the inclusion of financial services is only optional and has given the so-called BlackRock exemption to institutional investors. Nevertheless, we could conclude together with the Renew Group to a result that all financial services remain included in the regular general scope of the Due Diligence Directive. We have deleted the limitation to the pre-contractual phase in line with the concept of the risk-based approach that we apply to the directive. Risk-based approach meaning that we distinguish between causing, contributing to, or being linked with adverse impacts on human rights and the environment. As a consequence, a limitation to the pre-contractual phase was not logic anymore, and the Renew Group could accept this. This differentiation is now to be also seen back in the civil liability rule, where only companies that contribute to or caused an adverse impact on human rights and the environment can be held liable for this, whereas only linked with is not subject to liability. The most important element here remains. Financial service undertakings have a huge leverage impact on any kind of real economy operations that they are financing. We are now activating this leverage power for the sake of improving the situation for human rights and the environment in third countries.